Assalamualaikum dear students, hope you are all fine. Welcome to the practical course of Biomedical Instrumentation 2. Here's your lab instructor Nashita Alvaz. Content of this experiment includes 5 different sections: lab objective, apparatus needed for the experimentation, theoretical background of the experiment, lab performance part, and conclusion. The title of your today's experiment is to develop and design the virtual instruments in LabVIEW software. Furthermore, we will design the virtual instrument for the ECG measurement of the human body in LabVIEW software. To perform this experiment, we will use PHET interactive simulation website on which Bears Lab 1.10 version available. Firstly, we have to look at the theoretical background of this experiment. Suppose we have a tablet and this tablet contains a single drug along with the excipients. Then how we can know which type of drug is present in the tablet? And suppose if we know what is the drug present in the tablet, then how we can know the concentration of the drug in the tablet? That means the analysis sometimes we require to identify what are the drugs present in the given sample, and sometimes we have to identify its concentration. So by using volumetric analysis, sometimes you can estimate what is a drug present in the sample by using a suitable solvent and indicator. But this volumetric analysis is saying few have the practical limitations because all the drugs are not suitable for this volumetric analysis, and it requires the efficiency of the analyst, and it cannot be completely automated, and even we cannot analyze a large number of samples with a short period of time. So for all the practical limitations, the modern analytical technique give a solution where we can use electromagnetic radiation. Now this electromagnetic radiations can scan this tablet. It can see that what is the drug present in the tablet as well as how much concentration of the drug is present. So this is the fundamental of one of the technique, spectroscopy. So in this spectroscopy, we are going to use the electromagnetic radiation in order to identify the drugs as well as to determine their concentration. So suppose we have a drug. The drug is going to be dissolved in a suitable solvent, and we have a prepared sample. And this sample is going to be irradiated with a light source which sends the electromagnetic radiations. So for example, we can use ultraviolet visible radiation as a source in order to identify the drug sample, and when we send the radiations from the source, so if you have the photons of this electromagnetic radiations can enter into the sample. Suppose we are going to send electromagnetic radiations with intensity of I0, then the sample can absorb few of this electromagnetic radiations because sample contains the dry substance. So now if you have the electromagnetic energy is going to be absorbed by the sample, and whatever the remaining electromagnetic radiation is going to be transmitted out of the sample as IT, that is the intensity of the transmitted light. So here if we absorb the I0 is having high intensity, whereas IT has the low intensity. So what happened to this electromagnetic radiations when it is passed through the sample? So sample is going to be absorb the radiations. So absorption of the sample can be detected what is the drug present in the sample and how much is its concentration. So Here, Beer-Lambert's law play a key role, and it can be used for both quantitative as well as qualitative analysis of the drug by using electromagnetic radiations. Suppose we have a sample solution and we are going to irradiate with the electromagnetic radiations, and we can determine how much of the electromagnetic radiations absorbed by the sample. But within the process, we can also observe the additions interference steps, and here the sample is going to be placed in the sample cell, and suppose this cell is having some rough surface. It is not a smooth surface, and if we are going to irradiate the sample with electromagnetic radiations, and then some of the electromagnetic radiations may be reflected back because of the rough surface, and we observe a reflected light along with the transmitted light. So that means instead of the absorption, some of the light reflected. So reflected light interference create problem in absorption. It will be eliminated by using the smooth and polished surface normally. Second thing, sample having some of the solid particles. This radiation may be scattered, and we can observe a scattered light. So now the scattering of light can also interfere with the absorption. So how we can eliminate it? We can eliminate it by thorough filtration. So some of the light absorbed and remaining is transmitted. So the transmitted radiation within the intensity, with the intensity IT. So the measurement of absorption, we have three processes: reflection, scattering and absorption, but we only require the absorption. When electromagnetic radiations are incident on the sample solution, then the sum of the light is absorbed by the sample solution and the remaining is transmitted to the outside of the solution. We can see that I naught represents the intensity of the incident light, which is basically present, and we will give on the solution, and IT represents the intensity of the transmitted light. So the intensity of the light absorbance is the difference between the light intensity incident on the sample solution minus the intensity of the light transmitted. So we are not going to measure the intensity of the absorbing light. We are actually going to measure the absorbance coefficient of the sample solution, which is the ratio between the logarithm of the ratio between the incident light that we are going to incident on our sample solution and divided by the intensity of the light transmitted. There are four factors that are going to affect the absorbance. First one is the concentration of the solution. Second one is the path length, means the thickness of the solution. Third one is the temperature, and fourth one is the wavelength. Wavelength and temperature should be settled, but the main factors are the concentration and the path length. Suppose we have 5 solutions, each one of them has different concentration. Fifth solution has low concentration as compared to the first solution, which have high concentration. So as you can see in the slide, fifth solution has low absorbance rate as compared to the first one solution, means the concentration is directly proportional to the absorbance rate. As we have high absorbance rate in any solutions, means the transmission of the intensity of the light will be low in that solution. As the concentration of the solution is high, then the absorbance rate will be high. As the absorbance rate of the solution will be high, so the light transmission, intensity of the light transmission will be low. So Bayes' law gives information about this. Intensity of the transmitted radiation decreases exponentially with its concentration. I of t is proportional to I of 0 e raised to power minus c. So here we have three solutions. Each one of them have the same concentration. You can see the color means each one of them has the same color, means the concentration of the solution is the same, but all three of them have different width of the cell, means the first one has the low diameter of sample cell and third one has the high diameter of the sample cell, means high width. So as the width is low, so the absorbance rate is low. As the width is high, absorbance rate is high. Lambert's law gives information about this. Intensity of transmitted radiation decreases exponentially with thickness of sample through which radiation traveled. I of t means transmitted light intensity is proportional to I of t, I of 0 e raised to power minus p. P is basically the thickness of the sample solution. So if I will combine Bayes and Lambert's law, then my equation will become IT equals to I naught e raised to power minus kbc, or if I will replace e exponential with 10, then it will become IT equals to I naught 10 e raised to power 10 raised to power minus abc, where a equals to log I naught divided by IT, which is equals to abc. A is the absorbance and smaller a shows the absorptivity. A equals to abc, smaller a equals to absorptivity. A equals to epsilon naught bc, epsilon naught equals to molar absorptivity. Now if I will talk about the application of Bayes-Lambert's law, then there are two types of analysis, qualitative analysis and the quantitative analysis. So firstly I will talk about the qualitative analysis. Here I have the 5 solutions. Each one of the solutions have different concentration, as you can see in the slide. So each one of them have different has different concentration, so each one of them has different color. As you can see, the concentration of the solution is different, so the absorbability of the solution is different. Means if the solution has high concentration, like first solution on the left hand side has high concentration, so the absorbability of this solution is also high, while A5 last solution has low concentration, so absorbing capacity of that solution is also low. Now if I will create the ratio between the concentration and absorbance of the solution, then A1 by C1 is the first one solutions ratio, second one A2 by C2, then A3 by C3, then A4 by C4, then A5 by C5. This ratio basically shows the epsilon or the actual capacity or the ratio between the absorbance or the concentration. So it will be denoted by the epsilon, and this epsilon is normally affected by the wavelength and the basically temperature factors, and we will consider the temperature and wavelength as constant for the appropriate results. And we will compare the epsilon naught or the ratio of A1 by C1, A2 by C2. Each one solution ratio should be compared with the other one to define the concentration and define the drug capacity or drug type. If there is the difference between the ratio of one solution and the other solution, then it means drug have different types. But if there is no difference between the ratio, then it means all solutions have the same drug type. So this is the one standard type. And there is another standard in which we will compare the solution ratio with the epsilon naught reference. If there is a difference between the reference and the actual solution ratio, then it means we have a different drug type. So the second application of Beer-Lambert's law is the quantitative analysis. Quantitative analysis will be performed by taking the calibration curve, which will measure the absorbance of known concentration of pure sample. Suppose we are going to estimate the concentration of the aspirin present in a tablet. Then we are going to take the pure aspirin sample and we are going to prepare a series of dilutions just like C1, C2, C3, C4 and C5, and then we are going to measure the absorbance at different concentration. And according to Beer-Lambert's law, absorbance is directly proportional to the concentration. Now we will plot a curve with the absorbance versus concentration. It will give a straight line passing through the origin. This curve is called as calibration curve. Now we will take the absorbance of the unknown sample and we will denote it on the calibration curve as A1, and at that A1 curve, A1 absorbance, we will interpolate the concentration of the unknown solution, which is represented as C1. So this is how we can perform the quantitative analysis for the determination of the absorbance or the concentration of the different sample solutions. To perform this experiment, we will use PHET, Beer's Law Lab website. On this website, we will move towards the Beer's Law and double click. So here all the setup to perform the Beer's Law, and this is the section which will produce the wavelength. This wavelength of specific lights. This wavelength of specific light will passes through this solution, and here we have the meter which will measure the solution's absorbance capacity and the light transmittance intensity, and here we have the measurement tool. In this section we have different solutions uh, from which we will pass the light of different wavelength, and we will measure the intensity of absorbance and transmissions, and here we have the concentration. So firstly I will click on this button and passes the light of specific intensity through the solution. As if I will want to change the wavelength of my light, then I will pick the variable section and change my wavelength of light or the color of light. After this, if I will want to change the solution, then I will move towards the solution section and pick any other solution. So at this specific moment, a specific color and wavelength of light passes through the solution, and here we have the meter which will measure the transmission and the absorbance intensity of the solution. So if you can see that if I will increase the concentration of the solution, then the transmittance capacity of the solution will be decreases. And if I will move the meter towards the absorbance side, and if I will increase the concentration, then the absorbance capacity of the solution will be increases. If I will decrease the concentration, then the absorbance capacity will be decreases. Means the intensity of the light is distributed in three stages: reflection, transmittance and absorbance. As I will increase the concentration of the solution, then the absorbance will be increased. Solution will absorb more intensity of the light, but the transmittance of the light will be decreased as I will increase the concentration of the solution. So this is how we can perform the Bayes law by the help of PHET website. From this experiment, we have learned that how we can perform the scanning of drugs, how we can calculate the concentration and the thickness of the solution by the help of Beer-Lambert's law. This is all from my side. You are welcome to ask any question related to this topic. Thank you very much for listening to me. Good luck. Allah Hafiz.